Good. That's fun. Hey, everybody, and welcome to One of Those Pyramids. My name is Leah, and I wanted to bring this to you out of years of learning things the hard way. And in spite of the fact that I have a dog running around, you can hear his feet clip clopping around, and I have children all over the place that are constantly crying or coming to me or asking for a snack or asking for something. So if that happens during the show, I just want to let you know that that's probably going to happen. I'm not going to edit it out because one of the reasons why I have not done this before was out of fear that it wasn't going to be perfect, or out of fear that I was going to be interrupted because I couldn't have a moment's peace, or out of fear that what I had to bring wasn't valuable to you. And I'm here to say that is all in our heads, and that's a big reason why we don't succeed either as an entrepreneur, brick and mortar business store, but especially in network marketing and direct sales. And that's what I want to talk to you about, are the hard things about network marketing and direct sales that people don't really address, because it's like, oh my gosh, we have to be so positive and we have to be so secretive, and we can't say anything bad. And I'm not here to badmouth or talk about like the bad things in that way, but I just think like there's such a huge potential for people to make some money, whether it be a little bit of money or a whole lot of money in this industry. And yet a lot of people don't, because of the fact that they feel bamboozled, like when they get started, whether it's something that they put in their own heads of, well, I'm going to join and make a whole lot of money right out of the gate, or they're told things, like told promises by people that are just trying to recruit them. And the thing is I have been in this industry for quite some time now, and I've made a whole lot of mistakes, and I'm still making mistakes every single day and learning as I grow. Excuse me. But the thing is if you don't quit, then you will win eventually. And the majority of time, the reason why people fail in this industry is because they quit. Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's fine. Because it's kind of that's fine. Yeah, that's okay. See, that's one of those, but I don't mind that. So anyway, as I said, my name is Leah, and I wanted to introduce myself to you with this first episode so that you kind of know who I am a little bit. And I'm really looking for the people that relate to me, because this isn't meant to be something that's just going to like take off and grow. Like, I am really wanting to serve people who are like me, are like-minded, and really need to hear the things that I am going to say, because I do feel like, as long as you're growing, you have something to give. You can help the person in front of you, even if it's just by taking that first step. So here we go. So I wanted to explain a little bit about myself. I grew up in not having money, and my parents divorced at 9. I was the baby of 3, but I was younger than my next oldest sibling, my sister, by 5 years. And so they were teenagers when my parents divorced, and I was kind of left on my own, like a latchkey kid. And it was a tough life. It was not fun. I had to put myself to bed. I had to get myself up in the morning. I had to feed myself. And, it just wasn't great. There weren't a lot of options. And then we moved around a lot, and then I joined the military, basically just feeling like, oh, what else am I going to do? So I did do a year of college, had a blast, but I was on academic probation because I was having way too much fun. And so I did a year of college, and then I got suckered into marrying the first guy that looked my way. That did not go well, as you can probably imagine. So we divorced. We had a ton of debt once we divorced. And then I went active duty in the Army because I was in the reserves at the time. I went active duty, and I was like, well, you know what? At least I know that I'm going to have money in to pay some of my bills, and I will be able to have food and a place to sleep, because those were things that weren't really like guaranteed, or like I wasn't really sure how I was going to pay for it before then. So I went active duty, and I really felt so stuck there. Like, I do have another show with Veteran Trash Talk where I talk a lot about the way that females are in the military and the way that they're treated, and how it's very hard. But I felt very stuck. Like, I really enjoyed what I did career wise, job wise. But on the other hand, I was never respected because I was a woman. I was always mistreated. I was sexually harassed every single day, every day of 13 years in my military service. I was sexually assaulted, and I finally had enough. Like, it was something that I just dealt with because I knew what to expect. So I learned how to deal with it. I kind of made like a separate personality so that I could just get through the day. I was not a very happy person. I was very bitter and angry, and people would run the other way. I would make grown men cry on a regular basis. Um, and I finally had enough when I had my first child, because I knew that that wasn't the kind of life that I wanted. I knew that there was more. And in order for me to have that more, in order for me to have the life that I really wanted, I would need to create it, and I would have to get out of my stuck place. What's up, buddy?
You can finish your part.
Oh, it's going to be a while. What's up? All right. So I knew that I would need to work on that. And it took a while actually before my husband agreed to let me like come out, because we had planned a 20-year career together. And this was all new. So he was not excited about that, you know? Yes. Yes. Okay. So I finally got out. That is when I found direct sales network marketing. And I started by, I really started with party plane companies, because I didn't know this life. Like, I really just, I kind of started it just to kind of make some friends and get away from the military, because I hadn't really made a whole lot of friends in the military. So that's what I wanted to do, is just like have some place to go and like hang out and make some friends and make a little extra money, right? And it really opened up this whole world to me of, if I could make this happen, I would never have to work for somebody else again. And initially that set in like a panic of, I got to do this now. Well, I do know some people that get really good momentum right off the gate, and they are able to like replace their income within a few months. Like, you always hear those stories, right? Like, those are the only ones that we hear about, are like, oh, so I started and then I made $5 million my first month. And you're like, oh, that's fabulous. But that's not how it happened for me. And really, that is not how it happens for the majority of us. And that is why I'm here to share some things about this industry, because it's an incredible industry. But your paycheck grows as you grow as a person. And it took me a really long time to learn that. It took me a long time to figure out that you have to grow yourself as a person before the money really starts rolling in. Now, and again, I mean, there are exceptions. Like, I do know some people that are not that great of a person, and yet they're making pretty good money in the industry. You know, some people get lucky, but just know that if that's not you, like, you decided to take a risk on network marketing. And the other thing too is, a lot of people don't join it to make a whole lot of money. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. Like, did you hear what I said? Like, when I first started, I just wanted to get out of the house, like make some friends. I mean, that's a huge part of this industry. And it's such a low starting point. I don't remember where I had to pause. We had a bleeding child. So a lot of people join this to not necessarily make a whole lot of money. They join for the community, and sometimes they find it and sometimes they don't. But it's important to note that, like, if you've never looked into this as an income at all, and you do your research and you see like the income disclosures and a whole lot of people don't make any money at all, well, that's because they don't really care. They don't care to make money. They're not doing it as a business because you have the option. This is a volunteer army. You have the option of whether or not you want to make money. Now, a lot of times what happens is somebody, is introduced to a product. They really love that product and they get sold on getting the discount because most companies are like, well, you get a discount if you join, right? And so they get sold on getting the discount, and then they come into a community that they enjoy, because it's hard, especially as women, it's really hard to make friends. Or I don't know about especially, but I know I know for women, it's hard to make friends. I don't know about men. I can't speak for men. So when you do that and you're welcomed with open arms in this community and you feel loved, you're like, well, I want to stay here. But that doesn't mean that everybody wants to go out and just like grow a huge business. So the important thing to note, like if you are looking into network marketing or direct sales and money is important to you, like you're doing it for the money, then, it's important to look at the comp plan, but I would not look at the numbers. Like if you just like, well, can I make money with this company? Okay. Because I'm here to tell you, as long as it's not like a straight up, like illegal pyramid, which we'll talk about in a second, then yes, you can make money. And yes, there are people making money. But what I would do is kind of find out the majority, like who's making money within your company. Make sure that, like, if money is important, then make sure that you're asking them, like, well, what kind of training do you offer? How much money can I make? Like, how quickly can I make this money? And the other thing is it's going to be up to you on whether to do it. Nobody is pushing you to make you do it. I mean, there are some leaders, which I will talk about in another episode, who love to be real bossy and tell you that you have to do things. But this is a volunteer army. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And if you don't feel comfortable with something, you don't have to do it. And if somebody's pushing you, then you're not going to want to stay. And then that negates that whole sense of community. Yes. The what? No, I don't. But you're not using the bats right now. There's too many kids all over the place. Watch that eye roll, buddy. So if you're looking for income specifically, again, and I would probably gear towards network marketing over direct sales, meaning not so much like the party plan companies, because yeah, you can make some pretty decent money with party plan companies. But you're going to make better money in network marketing. And again, that'll probably be another episode. I need to be writing notes here while we're talking. But I wanted to make this as a place where you can come, you can learn about the industry and learn about, like, I'm not going to just sit here and be like, oh, it's always sunshine and rainbows. Like, the industry is very simple. It's very simple. You have a very low startup cost, okay? And I'm talking about low startup cost, anywhere up to $1,000, because you can start your own business and you never have to pay somebody to run your website. You never have to pay for stocking products, manufacturing products, shipping, marketing. Like, you don't ever have to pay for any of that, which if you were going to get a brick and mortar business, you would have to pay for that. Like, you would have to pay a lot of money for that. Okay. Now, I'm not like a tech guru. Yes. I'm not a tech guru at all. But I've looked at and I've tried to like start my own websites and stuff. And it's hard, first of all, like if you don't know technology, it's such a pain in the butt. It takes so much time and it's expensive. Like on the cheap end for having a website, it's like $300 for a year, somewhere around there. That's just having the website. And then you got to do something with it. Okay. And then you have to usually pay more money to get plugins so that you can do people where people can shop online and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So it's a very low startup. There's like no risk because if you don't like it or you don't do well, you can just quit. You're not really out anything other than that initial investment. Yes.
Can Nisha take your sprinkler on into the backyard? Not like the sprinklers that come up.
Yes.
Like that big one.
Yes.
Okay,
This is why. Okay. So it's very low risk, but also having the low risk is one of the things. It's a benefit and a perk. It's a curse and a blessing, because when you don't have that risk, you're less likely to really push yourself to make sure that you're successful in that business. So say you spend $500 to get your network marketing business started. And that's, I mean, $500 is nothing to sneeze at. That's a decent amount of money. But in the grand scheme of things, like if you get started on it, you're like, well, this isn't really working for me. I'm not really like trying that hard. I'm not really like, it's just, I don't want to do it. You can quit and it's no big deal. Whereas if you're going to start a brick and mortar company, or even if you're going to get started in real estate, because I did real estate before too, it costs thousands and thousands of dollars to get started in real estate. And then you can guarantee you're not going to have your first paycheck for at least 2 to 6 months. 2 to 6 months before you get paid the first time. So you're already out a whole lot of money. Okay. So it costs money to make money. It costs money to get started in business. Network marketing is like the lowest starting point, the lowest overhead, and to keep you going that there ever will be. So it's a phenomenal industry. But the big thing that you have to learn is if you're going to make it work, you have to work on yourself. If you're going to make it work, you have to work on yourself. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And that means like where I told you I was a very angry and bitter person for years because of my time in the military. Well, when I got out, I was still an angry and bitter person. Like just taking me out of the military didn't make that go away. I had to make the decision like, okay, I have to be a better person. Now, how am I going to do that? I had no idea. I had no idea how I was going to do that. But I started by reading and listening to podcasts and watching YouTube videos, like things that you might think are really cheesy, but they're important. So personal development, Tony Robbins, Jenna Kutcher, who are some other really good ones? Marie Forleo, I really like that book. Everything is Figure Outable. So good. So, but the whole point there is to find people that you resonate with, that you can listen to. They're going to uplift you and put that positive stuff in your mind and get rid of the stinking thinking. Because as silly as it may sound, when you think negatively, you're not going to be successful at anything. And if you're like, well, I'm just a realist. Well, no, sorry, friend. That's you being negative. That's you being negative. So, and I'm not trying to tell you to always say like, oh, the house is burning down, but I'm just going to sit here because I trust that everything will be fine. Like you have to take the action and make things better, right? You have to do the things. You have to get up and go, but you have to watch the thoughts in your mind that are negative. You got to stop them and replace them with something else. So for instance, if you've ever caught yourself saying, well, I don't have the money for that. Well, what you're saying is, I'm never going to have enough money for the things that I want to do. So, and it doesn't matter whether I'm talking about like buying a product or joining a network marketing company or going to the movies or whatever it is for you. But if you're saying ever, either in your mind or out loud, I don't have the money for that, what you're saying is, I'm never going to have that. I'm never going to have the money. I'm never going to have the money. And when you say that, the universe works in your favor and they're like, oh, you're never going to have the money? Okay, well, let's not give her any more money. So you have to replace it with, well, I'm choosing not to spend my money on that right now. Well, I'm spending my money elsewhere right now. Okay. So you don't have to say, oh, I have all the money in the world, because your mind's not going to believe that either. But you have to choose things that are feasible, that is not limiting. So hopefully that makes sense. But that is just kind of a brief introduction of what we're going to be talking about in this episode, or in this show. Sorry. I hope that you found that helpful. And if you did, please like and subscribe so that you can see more and hear more. And just note that, I'm not wearing any makeup. I didn't do my hair. The kids are all over the place, but that is my life. And I wanted to come to you authentically to show you that it can be done and that people don't need perfection. They don't want to see perfection because they can't duplicate it. And we want to duplicate the things that we know we can duplicate easily. So for all of you mamas and daddies out there who can easily duplicate, all right, well, I can get some stuff done with the kids running around and without makeup on and looking a hot mess. That's who I'm speaking to. And I hope that you heard my voice today. So hope that was helpful. I look forward to speaking with you some more and pouring into you. If there's ever a topic that you would like for me to cover, please let me know. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram at leabeday. That's probably the best place. You can connect with me also on TikTok, same handle, or on Facebook, or you can just comment where you see this. So I will chat with you soon. Make sure that you are living a blessed life, pouring into yourself every single day, one way or another, because you, my friend, deserve to be healthy, wealthy, and wise, and live the best life that you are meant to live. So until next time.